So we'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. We are covering chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, Akshara Brahma Yoga. As we have seen, Bhagavan Krishna has said that whoever understands Brahman as self, with Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, Adhyatma, Adhiyajna, Karma, even at the time of death, they will attain him. That's what he said. So then Arjuna asked the question about define each of those terms, and Bhagavan started defining those terms. We saw all of the definitions. Then Bhagavan started talking about what about the uh, person, how he should departing here is like dropping off his body. So he says that in the fifth verse, Bhagavan said, Antakale cha mameva smaran yukta muktva kalevaram yaprati samadbhavam yati nanyatra samshayaha, he said. So that means at the time of death, whoever remembers me and drops the body, he will reach me. Now, the thing is that, and then he also said, in the next shloka, he said, whatever your last thought is, that is where you're going to go. Okay, so because I mean, if you are asking why one person is going to reach, why a particular person is going to reach Bhagwan, if he's thinking about Bhagwan at the last minute, is the principle behind is that whatever you're thinking about at the last minute, that is what, or that is where you are going to go, or that is what you're going to become. So, therefore, we have to be very careful about what our thoughts are throughout our life. So, he says, Bhagavan says, Tasmat, therefore, also Tasmat also you normally, it's in, at least in Telugu, Tasmat is preceded by the word Jagrat. So, therefore, be careful. What Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanuswara Yudhyacha. Always, whatever you're doing, always think about me. And then do whatever you're supposed to do. Mayarpita Manobuddhi Mame Vaishyasa Asamshayam. So, with dedicate your mind and intellect, and then you will reach me. There is no question about it, he said. And this is to be practiced, right? अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा न अन्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थ अनुचिन्तयन्. So they said this, if we continue to practice with mind always not running anywhere else, then we are going to reach the supreme abode. Okay? That's where we paused in the last session. And then we actually chanted both verses 9 and 10, but we will chant them again today as a beginning. So before we start with the ninth verse, any questions or thoughts from the previous sessions? So maybe, so let me again break down the verse 9. We will chant. Okay. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. So Puranam and Anushasitaram together have become Puranam Anushasitaram. Anuraniya sa manusmaredyaha. So that one has Anoho Aniya sam Anusmaret Yaha. So Anoho Aniyaram Anusmaret Yaha. Okay, that becomes a single word. Anor. Give me 1 second, something. Yeah. Then Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam. Dhataram Achintya Rupam together becomes Dhataram Achintya Rupam. You'll see, depending on what text you're seeing, it may appear Maditya Varnam. Do you have Maditya Varnam or Aditya Varnam in your textbooks?
I have Aditya Varnam.
Aditya.
Adi, A.
Okay. Okay. So because that, what happens is Rupam Aditya Varnam. So that's what it is. So that's why in some text it could be appearing as Maditya Varnam, but understand it is Aditya Varnam. Tamasaha Parastat. Okay. Please repeat after me. One of you go off mute and repeat after me. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram
Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram
Anoraniyam Samanusmaretyah
Anore Ayam Samaridya. I could not get it, Venkat, sorry.
Anoraniyan
Anoraniyan
Samanusmaretyah.
Sa Manusmaredya.
Okay, some and Anusmaretyah. Okay. Sarvasya Dhataramachintya Rupam
Sarvasya Dhataram Achinta Rupyam
Adityavarnam Tamasah Parastat.
Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat.
Okay, now let me break down the next shloka also, and one of you can repeat after me. Prayana Kale, together two words, Prayana and Kale becomes Prayana Kale. Manasa Chalena. So that has actually two words, Manasa and Achalena. Together have become Prayana Kale, Manasa Chalena. Bhaktya, single word, Yuktaha. That Yuktaha, when with Sandhi, it becomes Yukto. Yoga Balena. Together becomes Yoga Balena. Cha and Eva together becomes Chaiva. Cha and Eva together Chaiva. Bhruvoho Madhye. Bhruvoho Madhye is Bhruvor Madhye. Pranam and Aveshya together becomes Pranam Aveshya. Samyak Sa Tam Param Purusham Upaiti. Purusham and Upaiti together becomes Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Okay. So one of you go off mute. Okay. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
प्रोवमादेय प्राणमावेश्य सम्य
सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
सतं परं पुरुषमैति दिव्यम्.
So, in these two verses, what happened is that now in Bhagavan said, you should always think about me, right? So now when we start thinking about, okay, how to think about, he said that your mind and intellect should be always on me. Mind and intellect we discussed about it in the last session. Then to have our mind and intellect always on him, the best thing is to surrender to him. When we surrender to God and we say that we are the servant of God, or God is our master, anything and everything we are doing is for our master. Okay, so um, that attitude should be there. Now, in these verses, Bhagwan is giving a little bit more into it. Okay, so if you say kavim, kavim means usually kavi is translated as poet. Now, today poets, they write about anything and everything. Right? They write about the nature, the beauty of the nature. They write about the uh, struggles that are going on in this world, all of those things. But when the poetry has begun in India, who was the first poet? Do you remember? Do you recall? Sage Valmiki was the first poet. And what did he write? He wrote Ramayana. So poets are, so the word Kavi originally meant the one who knows all about God. Okay. One who has a vision of God was poet. Okay. Was a Kavi. Not poet, but was a Kavi. Because the definition of poet in English may be slightly different from the definition of Kavi that has originated in India. So that Kavi is, okay, and Kavim Puranam. Okay. So, and then now here is the interesting thing, right? Kavi is the one who knows all about Lord. Now, what is their thought? I mean, so for example, uh, you could be a Kavi. Okay, if you are a Kavi, okay, when are you Kavi? Okay. If you are eating food, if you are eating lunch and enjoying lunch, are you a Kavi at that time, or you are enjoyer of food at that time? Okay. I mean, say for example, you are an employee of mm, uh, your organization, right? Your company, like Liberty Mutual, or as an example. Now, you are not an employee of your company 7 by 24. You are employee of the company when you are doing company's work. Otherwise, you are not. So 1 second. So, so Kavim, but the Kavi, you're only Kavi when you're thinking about all-knowing God. So this Kavim, what happens is that becomes Kavim as it becomes the Lord Himself. So your destination or the object your thought is Bhagwan. So whereas Kavi is referring to the poet who is thinking about God, Kavim itself is referring to the Lord Himself. Kavim. So here, this shloka is giving, when you want to think about God, how can I think about God? Okay, so let me help you with some attributes of the God so you can think about those attributes. Okay, Kavim meaning he is all-knowing Lord. Okay, because Kavi also meaning like one who has a deeper understanding, a deeper vision that other people lack. Even now in English poetry also, right? I mean, like not just English poetry, but in a modern definition of poet, he is bringing certain things into the forefront that other people fail to see. And what is the most important thing that other people are failing to see, and what Kavi can bring is about Bhagwan. So this Kavim is all-knowing Lord is Kavim. Puranam. Puranam means one who is ancient. Ancient means one who is always there. Okay. So that the cause, which is the cause of even Akasha, okay, is Purana. So that means that he was always Sanatana, he was always there, most ancient. Now, Puranam, okay, this Puranam word has got two, because see, the thing is that like one question is that that's always there, ancient, what is like, if you go to a museum, right? Yeah. If you go to a museum, what happens? You see a skeleton of a dinosaur. Now, when you see a skeleton of dinosaur, it is carefully preserved. Why? Because it is in a fossil form. It is in a fossil form and it is so brittle because those bones are there for like millions of years. If you touch, it may break. Okay. So now, if Bhagwan is much, much older than that, means what? Like, okay, if you touch, Bhagwan is going to fall off. Okay. 1 second, someone is actually calling me like almost 4 times. Please give me a second. Sorry, there was some kind of emergency situation, so the person was calling me about multiple times. So I apologize for that thing. So, as we are saying, right? Puranam we are talking about. So, we're talking about a dinosaur skeleton. If you touch, it is going to fall off. Now, Bhagwan is the most ancient. Then, if Bhagwan is most ancient, he's all easy like that. Okay, so because the word, so no, that is not, Bhagwan is not like that. Why? Because the word Purana means there are two words in there. I mean, like Puranam is made up of, is Pura Api Nava. So Pura Api Nava is Purana. Pura is old. Api means but still. Okay. However, Nava means new. So that means even though God is ancient, it is brand new. But he is brand new. She is brand new. What does that mean? Okay. It means is that now when a child is born, we say the child is young. And baby, infant, etc. Young, those are the terms that we use. As that baby is growing and they are in 40s, 50s, we'll say middle-aged. Okay. And then after a while, the same human being, we call them as old. Now, what happened? Why the child who was born was called as young, fresh kind of a thing, and later on the same one termed as middle-aged and later on old? It is because that body has undergone through modifications. Because the body has undergone modifications, what we say, I may be old, but I'm young at heart. Okay. I may be old, but I'm young at heart. So that means that he's immature. Right. So now this Pura Api Nava means God does not go through any modifications. That's what. Okay. So that means the way this God was on the day of creation, he is now exactly like that. The day, so that means what? God is beyond time. The concept of God has been created by God and he is outside of the boundary of time. So the vagaries of time doesn't touch God. Okay, so this is something that we should think about. So this is what Kavim Puranam. Okay. Anushasitaram, meaning Shasana means command, okay, rule. Anushasitaram, meaning one who is propelling the rule. Now, what do you mean by one who is propelling the rule? I want to think about a king. Okay. What are his commands? What are his proclamations? They are all based upon you must do this. Okay, you must pay this much tax. You must go do something like this, right? So the rules of the government, they're all based upon usually that they should be based upon morals and ethics. Okay. So now this Bhagwan is also give is the one who propels and who commands to. He is right within us, and he gives us our karma phala. Now you experience this. Why should I experience this? Because you have done something to deserve this experience. Now this experience be good experience or bad experience. Okay. So that karma phala is given. And then he says that, okay, now I am bringing up this vasana now. Why should I get this thought now? Okay. Suddenly you want to do puja. Okay. You are sitting in front of God. You are lighting the lamp. And then suddenly you last night I went to dinner, that place, the food was not good. And that person said that. These kind of thoughts come. Why? At that time, I want to do puja, and why am I getting these thoughts? Because he knows that you had done those, and this is the time for me to bring up those vasanas. So that way, one who con one who propels our karmas based on our vasanas, that is Bhagwan. So that means what? He is my innermost controller. Okay. So first one, what? Kavi. Kavi means what he said, like, okay, he's all knower. Then next one is Puranam. Puranam means he he is beyond time. Anushasitaram. He is right within me, and he is propelling me to do whatever needs to do. Anuraniyan. Okay. Anu aniyamsam. Okay. Anu aniyamsam. Okay. Anuraniyamsam means anu. Anu means what? Anu and anu are different. Okay. The sound is different in Sanskritam language or Indian languages. Na, anu means following, like anushasitaram. You see, anushasitaram. The previous word, Kavyam Puranam Anushasitaram, that Anu means sometimes it is following. Okay, that kind of meaning comes. But Anu, like as in Anu or any some, right? Anu means the most subtle one, okay, the most smallest, okay, something that is invisible. Okay? So that's why we actually, when we translate the nuclear stuff into Indian languages, we say Anu Shakti. Okay. So, so Anu meaning the most subtle one. And he is Anuraniyamsa means he is subtler than the subtlest. Okay. That means what? Why are we saying that he's subtler than the subtlest? Now, I have this pen. Okay. I have this pen. If I need to cut, okay, cut this pen, then I need something smaller than this to cut. Okay. With a something bigger than this pen, I cannot cut this pen. Okay. So, I mean, the equipment will be huge, but the cutting portion is smaller. That's what my point is. Okay. So, and then when it is cut off, what happens is that there are two pieces. So that means there is something subtler than this concept of pen. There's something smaller than this concept of pen. Now, if we are able to break down something into a smaller thing, so that means that the smaller thing exists prior to this pen. Are you following? Why am I talking like, so much? These things, you will understand in a second. So now, in that case, what exactly is this pen? Ah, this pen is assembly of those parts. Okay, this pen is assembly of those parts. Got it? So that means what? What is the next implication for that? Those parts have existed before the existence of this pen. This pen is nothing but assemblage of those parts. Okay. Now, if you are talking about the creation, everything that is created in this world, what about the creator? The creator must be subtler than the subtlest of the thing in the creation to create that. Okay. So we say, what is the term? Like, I mean, what are scientists? One of the things that scientists are trying to find out is God particle, right? They wanted to understand what is this God particle. Why? Why do scientists, I mean, why are they interested in this God particle? Is that God particle, whatever is there, that is the cause of creation. Okay, and it must be subtler than the subtlest. And they recently, as in like a few years ago, they claimed that they were able to find God particle, right? So something like that. So I mean, what it is saying is that Anurani, and what is subtler than the subtlest means that there is nothing subtler than this. Means there is, this is the last subtlest. Okay, so there's nothing below that. Okay, so then that means it cannot be broken further into any parts. So that beginning portion, that beginning is Bhagwan. Okay, everything is made up of that. Okay, so like for example, in if you're studying biology, what do they say? The fundamental unit of biology is cell. That's what we said. The fundamental unit, the fundamental unit of physics is atom, they say. Then they discovered, no, 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 it is not atom. Within atom, there are protons, neutrons, electrons. Then they said, oh, okay, actually, you can further break down protons, neutrons into quarks or something like that, or subatomic particles or something like that. And and then they say like, okay, all of this is energy. And if all of this energy is, where did matter come from? Oh, energy itself is matter. Okay. So, and you say that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Matter can never be created nor be destroyed. Means what? Nothing in this world can be created or destroyed. Right? Only the what we destroy is the assemblage is something that can be destroyed, but the basic core material cannot be destroyed. And Anuraniyan is referring to that core material of a God, okay, with which this entire universe is created, and he is subtler. Okay, so that is what we must understand. And that Anuraniyan sa Manusmaret. So Anusmarana means think about Bhagwan. Okay, so uh, that uh, that is what we have to uh, think about, right? Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Anoraniyan Anusmaret Yaha. This yaha is there, okay? Anusmaredyaha is there, okay? So the last line, I mean the first line, I mean, if you see 4 lines in your shloka, then it is the second line, last word. If you see 2 lines in your shloka, it is the last word, the first line. Anusmaredyaha. So Anusmared Yaha. Yaha means one who. Okay. one who does that, okay? So then, okay, sarvasya, okay, sarvasya dhataram, okay? And then actually, sarvasya dhataram is also about Bhagwan only. Sarvasya dhataram. So sarvasya dhataram means all karma phala. Okay. See, we all made good actions. We all performed good actions and bad actions. So we all should experience good results and bad results. Who is going to decide which karma phala has to be given at which time? That is Bhagwan. So he is karma phala data. Okay, so he is dhataram is referring to vidhataram vichitrataya anibhyo vibhaktaram. That's what Shankaracharya says. So basically he is the provider of results. Sarvasya dhataram. Based on what? Based on our own actions. That is Bhagwan. Okay. So these are all like, meditative terms. So why we are spending more time on this is this is how we must understand the Bhagwan. Achintya Rupam. Rupam means form. Achintya means, Chintya means I'm thinking, so I understand something. Achintya means I cannot understand. I cannot understand what? The form. Whose form? Bhagwan's form. Okay? So that means Achintya Rupa means he is beyond mind. Bhagwan is beyond mind. Why? If I see this candy, okay, so this candy, this is, oh, okay, this is ginger chimes. This is a candy, this is sweet. Okay, this is one piece. Like that, if I understand this, what happens is that this is a object of my understanding. Now, when it comes to Bhagwan, what happens is that whatever is object of my understanding is outside of me and it is an object. Now, Bhagwan is not an object. Who is Bhagwan? He is none other than you. None other than me. If I were to ask any of you, who are you? What are you going to say? Okay, what would be your first response? Let's do okay, just a role play for a moment, right? So yeah, so I see Ravi, you
No, we'll just say about ourselves. Like we will not say like I'm Bhagwan.
no,
Right.
no, no.
So
But like, okay, so if I
I'm
say,
Ravi. I'm so
yeah,
and
so
so.
if I say, ask you who are you, you say Ravi.
Yeah.
Then Ravi is a name given to you. That is not you.
Yeah.
That is that is a tag assigned by your parents to your body.
Yep.
Okay. So then who are you?
Then I'm this body, I'll say.
Okay. You are this body. So now at this age, I'm just making up. Okay. So don't take it too
No,
serious.
no.
Okay.
Good.
So at this age, you are 150 pounds. Okay. If you are less than that, please don't get angry. I just took a random number.
That's correct number, Venkat.
Okay. So at this age, you are 150 pounds. So, well, like this body, your body is 150 pounds. Now, when you are 5 years old, your body must be maybe 50 pounds. Just okay. Now, was that not you?
It was me.
If that was you and this is you, so what about this 100 pounds difference?
It's a change in the body, right?
So, but you said that, so then that, whatever that is not this. You see, that body is not this body. Scientifically, all cells are reborn in 7 years' time. So the body that is 7 years ago, whatever that body that was there 7 years ago, all those cells have died in 7 years period. And now that cycle must have happened at least few times. Okay, so none of those cells that were there when you are 5 are here, and you are not that weight. So either is that body is you or this body is you. So go ahead, Hari.
No, no. And if that's the case, all that we can say is, I belong to my Atma. That's the only thing we can say, because Atma still takes various shapes of body for every generation we are born. So it's all different. So that's all we can say. Okay.
Perfect, good, yeah. So uh, yeah, you summarized it very well. So what happens is then I have to say, but at the same time I was there. I am the same person who was there, and that I am here. So that means I must be different from this body who is observing this body. Right? Now, what are the contents of this body? If you look at the physical body is the content, content of this body. But along this physical body, even our mind and intellect, they are also the contents of this body, and then a subtle body. Okay, and they are also undergoing change, just like the physical body has undergone change. Okay, now when you are 5, were you considered as a employee of a company? No. What today you are considered as an employee of a particular company? Yes. So what differentiated between that and this is change in your intellect. Okay, because there is a certain additions are made to your intellect in terms of knowledge, in terms of, so that means that and so the knowledge is actually like in terms of your chitta. Okay, you got like new memories about new technologies, new studies, etc. All of that that has been added, and your intellect knows how to process it at the right time in the right way. So based on this, you have been given a job to do, and then now you are considered as an employee. So what happened? This intellect has changed now. So the chitta has changed between then and now. The intellect's ability to calculate, meaning judge, right, and discriminate has changed between then and now. So the intellect has also changed. The chitta has changed. The manas, okay, how do you feel? Okay, so for example, at 5, when someone grabs a chocolate from you, okay, what would be your reaction? Your reaction would be, let's see, what are mine? Okay, this to cry, okay, to fight for. Okay, so all of that. Do we do that now? No. Why? Our mind has changed. So we are different from that mind. We are different from that intellect. Okay. So We are not our mind, we are not our intellect. So how can this mind or intellect can grasp who we really are? Okay. So whether it is my true own nature, which is Bhagwan itself, it is achintya. I cannot measure. I cannot think. Okay? Because it is not, okay, so because sometimes what happens is when we hear the term achintya, oh, I cannot think it because that is more complex and it is, my mind can only process a complexity of this much. This is, Bhagwan is this huge complex, so I cannot understand Bhagwan. No, no, that's not the case. Okay. Beyond the mind means it is basically behind the mind. Understand it as like that. Okay. It is sitting behind the mind. And because of that, mind is functioning. So mind is a tool in Bhagwan's hand or our hand. It is not other way around for the mind to understand or grasp. Okay. So that is the nature of Bhagwan. So Kavim, Pura, so Kavim, what else we saw? Puranam, Anushasitaram, Anoraniyams, right? Sarvasya Dhataram, Achintya Rupam, Aditya Varnam. Okay. Aditya, what is Aditya means? You know?
Everlasting Aditya.
Okay. So Aditya is sun. Okay, simple.
Awesome.
Simple translation, sun. Sun. Now, Varnam means color. Okay, almost. Okay. What is the color of sun? Bright. Brightness. Okay. So, and now see, the thing is that when we were born, the color of sun, I mean, of course, I mean, because of uh, the earth's positioning, etc., the morning sun may look red and evening sun may look yellow, midday sun look bright, and on a cloudy day, sun may look dark. Okay, dull, rather, not dark. Okay, all of that. But the real nature of, and during nighttime, you don't see sun at all. But the real nature of sun, the color of sun is brightness. Okay. So that brightness is Bhagwan. And that brightness, see, the thing is that like when I open my eyes, can I look at sun in its full glory? We cannot. We have to close my eyes. Okay. And that sun, which is so bright, okay, and that brightness that never changed from all our times, right? So when this brightness of sun did not change, whether it is in our 21st century or when this Bhagavad Gita was written 5 or 6,000 years ago, or when Earth was created, that brightness remained constant. So that means what? It is from a, of course, from an absolute perspective, it is not uh, uh, permanent, but it never changed. So that means that our consciousness doesn't change. Aditya Varna means that consciousness, the Chaitanya Swarupa, because the Chaitanya Swarupa or the Chit is again light. Light as in like not bright light of is it a daylight or warm light? No, no, not that kind of a light. But it is, that is there right within us all the time. And in the presence of that light, we are able to see anything and everything, either in the external world or internal world. So, for example, now you have a thought. Okay. Where did the thought occur? You're thinking now, right? Okay, where exactly are you thinking?
The mind.
Okay, so that, and you're perceiving the thought. Yes, I mean, like the thought that is going on in your head, you're able to perceive the thought, yes?
Yes.
And that thought, you're able to perceive it because of what? Is because of consciousness. So in the light, so now this light is a kind of like a poetic expression, but in the light of that thought, you're experiencing or you're perceiving that thought. Okay? So that is inside you. Now, inside you means it's not like, even though I'm saying inside you as in like a whole pointing to my body, but it is not like as in like here or here. It is within my mind space. Okay. Now, outside world, whatever you see in the outside world, how are you able to see? Because of our eyes.
Eyes. Yeah.
But who is giving credence to this eyes?
Intellect.
Okay, because of presence of mind. Because sometimes what happens is that, see, like you might have noticed, you might have walked in and out of your room many a times, but you must have stared at it, but you probably did not notice a particular imperfection in a corner or a particular stain on the carpet or things like that, right? Why? Because even though the eyes have seen it, the mind was not there behind it. And the mind itself is propelled by consciousness. So that consciousness, in the absence of consciousness, nothing outside can be seen, nothing inside can be seen. And that consciousness is referred as Aditya Varnam. And that consciousness is what? Bhagavan alone. Okay, that is our true nature. Okay, so one who contemplates Bhagavan. Okay, so this is how we should contemplate about God throughout our life, including in our last minute. Okay. That God is all over. Okay, so so what are we saying? Kavim, God is all over. Then Puranam. Okay, that means God is God doesn't, he's older than oldest and he never changes. Then Anushasitaram, that means he is Antaryami. He is right within me. Okay. He's right within me means what? There's nothing other than him in me actually. So that means that whatever I think as him or me, it is one and the same. Okay. And that is propelling me to do karma, experience the karma phala and vasana. So that is okay. Sarvasya dhataram. Based on the karmas, he provides the results as karma phala data. Okay, at right time. Okay. Anuraniyam some, subtler than the subtlest. So that means that he is the cause of everything. These are five, right? Then achintya rupam. God cannot be thought about. God cannot be captured by my mind because it is actually the mind itself is controlled or like mind itself is functioning because of the presence of God. Because of that, mind can never understand God. 6. 7. Aditya Varnam. Okay. So this is consciousness. Okay, that's what we talked about. And tamasa parastat. That means tamasa parastat means tamas means ignorance. Parastat means beyond ignorance. Okay, God is beyond ignorance. So that means it is beyond avidya, beyond. Okay, so in these 8 types, we must think to understand, and we must be like thinking about the nature of God throughout our life, including the day of our death. Okay, including our last minute. So this and then actually, like, one of the reasons why we studied, we chanted both shlokas together is because the thought process did not complete with this. So sometimes what happens is, think about, like, there's a long sentence, and when that long sentence is there, it goes beyond line 1 and it also goes to line 2. Okay. So in the same way, this particular long sentence, long thought that was there, Prayanaka, and that thought process continued into the next shloka, where the basically what that shloka says is, with all of these thoughts, okay, and have these thoughts and have this unshaken mind, okay, and with the power of yoga, and we have to, and it also gives some, like, techniques. Okay, these techniques are primarily yoga based techniques, where the last life breath should be between two eyebrows, and then he reaches the supreme abode. That's what it says. That part, actually, what exactly that we will see next session, and then we will conclude for this Balvihar year, and we'll start in September again. So our last session would be next Sunday morning. Okay. So any thoughts or questions based on what you heard so far? So shall we close then?
Yeah, okay, good.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
Thank you.
all.